You can feel it long before you can explain it. The tension in the room, the way their eyes linger just a little too long, the subtle comments that sound harmless but burn hours later. Most people you meet in life will disagree with you, dislike you, or even avoid you, and that's normal. But there is a rare type of person who goes further. They don't just want to win, they want to destroy your confidence, your reputation, your peace, and eventually, the way you see yourself. And the danger is this: they don't attack loudly. They attack quietly, strategically, and with a smile convincing enough to fool everyone, including you. Marcus Aurelius warned us, if someone can disturb your mind, they have already won. So today, we take that power back. In this video, we'll uncover 5 undeniable signs that you're dealing with someone who wants to destroy you, and the Stoic methods to protect your mind, your dignity, and your life. 1. They attack your reputation. Quietly. Some enemies strike loudly, but the most dangerous ones prefer silence. When someone wants to destroy you, they rarely confront you directly. A direct attack exposes their motives. A direct conflict gives you a chance to defend yourself. So they choose a weapon far more efficient: your absence. They reshape how others see you, long before you're even aware there's a conversation happening. They twist small details. They express concern that doesn't exist. They retell stories where you suddenly appear unstable, irresponsible, or emotionally unpredictable. They never outright accuse you, they imply. And the implication is powerful because it feels like truth spoken softly. This is not accidental behavior, it is strategic sabotage. People who want to break you understand that reputation is leverage. If they distort the way others perceive you, they can weaken your influence, your support system, and your sense of belonging. They know that once doubt enters a room, it spreads on its own. You'll notice this attack in subtle shifts. Someone avoids you without reason. Someone treats you as if they know something you don't. Someone responds to you through a lens that has nothing to do with how you actually behave. These are not coincidences. They are footprints. Stoicism teaches us that reputation is external, not fully in our control, yet still impactful. Epictetus warned, guard your mind first, then the image it projects. A ruined reputation does not define you, but it can make your path heavier. Those who wish to destroy you use this truth carefully. They frame you as emotional, even if you're steady. They say you're hard to work with, even if you deliver results. They suggest you can't be fully trusted, even if you've always shown integrity. And they do it with kindness, softness, and false concern. The perfect disguise. How do you detect this? By watching behavior, not listening to words. If similar misunderstandings appear among people who barely interact with each other, if narratives about you shift without a clear source, if people begin reacting to a version of you that doesn't resemble you, someone is shaping that version. The Stoic response is not to panic, chase rumors, or defend yourself against invisible accusations. That only hands them more power. Instead, you reclaim control in 3 ways. You become precise. Your words are intentional. Your presence is consistent. People begin to sense the truth through your stability, not through your explanations. You limit access. You stop sharing personal thoughts with someone who weaponizes them. You remove the raw materials they use to twist your story, and most important, you protect your integrity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, what others think belongs to them. What you do belongs to you. Your job is not to control perception. It is to embody truth. Those who attack quietly depend on chaos. So you choose clarity. They depend on your emotional reaction. So you remain composed. They depend on shadows. So you stand in the open. Your reputation is not saved by shouting. It is saved by time, character, and unwavering presence. Eventually, the one who tried to destroy you will reveal themselves. Not because you exposed them, but because truth has a way of slowly burning through every lie. 2. They try to humiliate you in subtle ways. A person who wants to destroy you rarely comes at you with open hostility. Instead, they choose a method that feels harmless to everyone else, but cuts directly into your confidence. Humiliation disguised as humor, concern, or honesty. This type of attack is slow, calculated, and deeply psychological. It doesn't bruise your skin, it bruises your identity. You'll notice it when they make jokes at your expense. The kind that aren't funny, but everyone else laughs because it was delivered with a smile. You'll notice it when they point out your flaws, only in the moments when it benefits them. In meetings, in front of friends, when there's an audience and you're unprepared to respond. They'll say things like, "I'm just being real." "You're too sensitive." "I thought you could handle a little joke." But none of this is accidental. This is how people conceal cruelty inside charm. What they're really doing is positioning themselves above you. They want to make you look smaller, less competent, less confident, because your discomfort increases their sense of power. They study your insecurities and press on them lightly, repeatedly, until it becomes normal for others to see you through their distorted lens. And they do it in public because humiliation loses its power when delivered privately. A private insult can be denied. A public one sticks in the air. Once others hear it, the idea lingers, even if they don't consciously believe it. At work, they might comment on your skills in a way that sounds like helpful feedback, but actually casts doubt on your abilities. In your social circle, they may highlight your low moments or mistakes under the guise of storytelling. In relationships, they may mock your sensitivities and call it helping you toughen up. This behavior is not humor, it is a tactic. Stoicism teaches that emotional attacks are not about the words themselves, but the intention beneath them. Marcus Aurelius emphasized, if it's endurable, then endure it. If it's not, make a decision. The decision here is not to suffer humiliation silently. It is to see it clearly, name it internally, and refuse to let it define you. Because humiliation only works when you accept the role they're trying to assign you. The person who seeks to destroy you wants you reactive. They want you flustered, embarrassed, unsure of yourself. When you react emotionally, you confirm the script they wrote for you. The Stoic response flips their strategy entirely. You stay calm, you stay composed, you stay anchored in your dignity. When they make a joke meant to cut you down, you don't take the bait. Instead, you respond with clarity. That sounded more like a criticism than a joke. Or, I don't find that helpful. Let's stay with the actual issue. Short, calm, factual. Humiliation cannot survive under direct light. Another powerful strategy is silence. Not the silence of submission, but the silence of refusal. Holding eye contact and saying nothing forces them to confront their own behavior without giving them emotional fuel. People who use subtle humiliation depend on your insecurity. When you show self-possession, their tactic collapses. And when others observe your calm, grounded response, the narrative shifts. People begin to notice the attacker's pattern. What once seemed like playful teasing now looks like cruelty. What once seemed like honesty now looks like insecurity masquerading as confidence. The truth eventually reveals itself, especially when you're steady enough to let it. Stoicism doesn't ask you to tolerate disrespect. It asks you to respond without letting it control your inner state, to defend your dignity without losing your composure, to show others who you are, not through arguments, but through unwavering presence. Humiliation is an attempt to shrink your identity. Your stillness is an announcement that you refuse to shrink. 3. They manipulate your mind, gaslighting and doubt planting. There is no attack more dangerous than the one that happens inside your own head. A person who wants to destroy you doesn't always target your reputation or your dignity first. Sometimes, They aim for something far more valuable: your sense of reality. Gaslighting is not always loud, dramatic, or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's delivered gently. Sometimes it feels like someone is helping you understand what really happened. That's what makes it so lethal. A manipulator studies your reactions. They observe what confuses you, what hurts you, what makes you question yourself. Then they use that information not to understand you, but to destabilize you. Their goal is simple. If they can make you doubt your memory, your instincts, and your judgment, then they can control the narrative of your entire life. At first, the manipulation is subtle. You remember a conversation clearly, but they insist you misunderstood. You recall the exact words they used, but they claim you're imagining things. You bring up a hurtful moment, and they accuse you of overreacting. They turn your clarity into fog. They turn your certainty into shame. And soon, you begin asking yourself questions you should never have to ask. Am I being too emotional? Did I really get that wrong? Maybe I'm the problem here. These questions are their victory. When someone wants to destroy you through psychological manipulation, they focus on weakening your internal compass. Because once you stop trusting yourself, you start relying on them for truth, for guidance, for validation, and that dependence gives them control. Stoicism warns about this vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius said, "The mind always has power over its own interpretation. A manipulator seeks to steal that power from you. They do it by rewriting history. That never happened. You're imagining things. You always twist my words. You're remembering it wrong." They do it by flipping responsibility. "You made me do that. It's your fault I reacted that way. You pushed me into it." They do it by punishing your clarity and rewarding your doubt. When you question them, they become cold or distant. When you apologize for something you didn't do, they become warm again. When you express hurt, they mock it, minimize it, or call it dramatic. When you suppress your feelings to avoid conflict, they call you easy to reason with. This is the cycle. You get confused, you seek harmony, you silence yourself, they gain control. But here's the truth. Anyone who benefits from your confusion is not someone who has your best interest in mind. The Stoic way to break manipulation begins with reclaiming your narrative. First, you write things down. The moment something feels off, unclear, or distorted, you document it. Manipulation thrives in vagueness. Clarity kills it. Second, you verify reality, not emotion. Ask yourself, what actually happened? What did I see, hear, or feel directly? Not what they want you to believe happened. Third, you anchor yourself in truth, not their reaction to it. People who manipulate will always deny your truth if acknowledging it threatens their power. That doesn't make your truth any less real. Fourth, you stop arguing. Manipulators don't want resolution, they want dominance. Stoics never fight in arenas designed for them to lose. They step out and choose internal clarity over external approval. Fifth, you observe their consistency. A person who respects you helps you find clarity. A person who wants to destroy you punishes you for having clarity. And here is the most important step. You trust yourself again. You trust your intuition. You trust what your eyes saw and what your heart felt. You trust the version of reality that has patterns, not the version manufactured to control you. Because gaslighting only works when you surrender your judgment. Stoicism returns that judgment to you. The one who manipulates your mind wants to replace your thoughts with their story. But when you stand firm in your own truth, their map no longer works. Their distortions lose impact. Their script loses power. Their control dissolves. Your mind is the final battlefield, and once you protect it, the person trying to destroy you loses the only weapon that ever truly threatened you. 4. They try to isolate you from your support system. If someone wants to destroy you, they won't always attack you directly. Sometimes they go after the people who protect you, because once they weaken your circle, they weaken you. Isolation is one of the oldest strategies of psychological control. Not through force, not through violence, but through influence. Slow, strategic, invisible. A person who wants to isolate you doesn't begin by telling you who you can or cannot speak to. They begin with something far more subtle. They plant doubt, they raise questions, they make gentle comments like, "I don't think that friend really likes you. You know, your coworker talks about you behind your back. Your family doesn't understand you the way I do." Every sentence is delivered with concern, never aggression. Because concern is harder to question. Little by little, they separate you from your sources of clarity, grounding, and emotional support. Why? Because when you're alone, confused, and disconnected, you're easier to influence, easier to weaken, easier to break. And this is where the trap tightens. They might create conflict between you and someone who genuinely supports you. They twist your words when retelling conversations. They tell others half-truths shaped to provoke tension. They exaggerate misunderstandings until trust slowly crumbles on both sides. Soon, you're not just dealing with them. You're dealing with a distorted version of your relationships. You find yourself apologizing for things you never did. You feel tension in rooms where there was once comfort. You sense distance from people who used to feel close. None of this is a coincidence. It is engineering. Stoicism teaches us that no external force is more destructive than one that disrupts your inner stability. And your support system is part of that stability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Keep company with people who lift you higher." Someone who isolates you wants the opposite. They want you dependent on them alone. Because once you lose your network, you lose perspective. Your world becomes quieter, smaller, more fragile, and they step into the center as the only consistent voice. The voice they hope you rely on more than your own. Here are the signs this is happening to you. People you trust suddenly withdraw for no clear reason. Conflicts arise that feel engineered, not natural. Your relationships feel thinner, like someone has siphoned the warmth out of them. You start hearing things like, "You shouldn't tell them that," or "It's better if we keep this between us." This is isolation disguised as intimacy. The Stoic response is not to accuse or confront emotionally. That only deepens the conflict and feeds the manipulator's plan. Instead, the Stoic response is calm, deliberate clarity. First, you maintain your connections. You reach out to your people directly, without the middleman twisting the message. One conversation can dissolve an entire web of lies. Second, you communicate with facts, not emotion. When something feels off, you verify it. This was said. Did it actually happen? Most manipulation collapses. The second truth enters the room. Third, you stop sharing sensitive information with anyone who has shown signs of twisting it. Your boundaries become your shield. Fourth, you observe their reaction when you reconnect with others. A supportive person smiles when your relationships strengthen. A controlling person becomes uneasy, irritable, or suddenly worried. Isolation thrives when you're unaware. Once you see the pattern, the spell breaks. Because here is the final truth. People who genuinely love or support you do not demand exclusivity. They do not turn you against your friends. They do not sabotage your peace, your community, your sense of belonging. They celebrate your connections. They don't compete with them. Someone who tries to isolate you wants control, not closeness. They want influence, not intimacy. They want power over your reality, not partnership in it. And the moment you reclaim your relationships, the moment you refuse to stand alone in their shadow, their entire strategy collapses. They lose access, they lose leverage. They lose the quiet authority they hope to build over your life. Because no one can destroy you when you're surrounded by truth, support, and clarity. Isolation is their battlefield. Connection is your way out. 5. They want you emotional, so they can control the narrative. There's a reason emotional manipulation is the final and most dangerous strategy of someone who wants to destroy you. It's because once they can provoke your emotions, they no longer need evidence, truth, or logic. They only need your reaction. Every manipulator knows one simple rule. Your reaction is more powerful than their accusation. If they can push you into anger, panic, or defensiveness, they don't have to win the argument. They only have to win the optics, and optics decide everything in social settings. Someone who wants to harm you studies this closely. They watch how you respond to pressure. They notice the moments when you get flustered. They memorize the tone or phrase that makes you tighten your jaw or lose your balance. Then they file those details away like weapons ready to use when it benefits them most. The attack usually begins with something small, a comment, an insinuation, a subtle insult disguised as concern. They're not aiming for the words to hurt you yet. They're aiming to warm up the trigger. Once you're slightly irritated or slightly unsettled, they escalate. They may bring up past mistakes at the worst possible moment. They may question your intentions in front of others. They may twist something you said into a completely different meaning. They may interrupt you mid-sentence, not because they disagree, but because they want to make you appear disorganized or emotional. And when you react, even just a little, they shift into their second phase, the calm facade. Suddenly, they speak softly. Suddenly, they breathe slower. Suddenly, they act patient, composed, maybe even disappointed in your behavior. Now the room sees two realities. You, responding with emotion. Them, standing still in calculated calmness. To an uninformed observer, the conclusion is easy. You're the one losing control. You're the one who made things messy. You're the one proving their narrative true. This is not an accident. It is a trap. Emotional provocation is a strategy built on misdirection. They want you to react so that the world stops looking at their behavior and starts looking at yours. They want your reaction to overshadow their provocation. They want your emotional expression to become evidence that you're unstable, unreasonable, or difficult. This is how someone who wants to destroy you gains control. Not by being right, but by making you look wrong. Stoicism, however, exposes this tactic with brutal clarity. The Stoics taught that the world cannot truly harm you, only your reaction can. Not because you should suppress emotions, but because your emotional reactions decide who holds the power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not events outside of it." This is not a comforting slogan. It is a survival principle. Because when someone wants to control your emotions, what they're really trying to control is your mind's interpretation of reality. If they can distort that, everything else falls into place. Once you understand that, the entire game changes. The Stoic way to defeat emotional manipulation isn't through counterattacks or explaining your side louder. It's through stillness, deliberate, disciplined, anchored stillness. The manipulator expects you to explode, so you breathe. They expect you to defend, so you pause. They expect you to justify, so you speak only in facts or not at all. They expect you to emotionally chase the narrative, so you stand back and let the truth expose itself. Imagine they make an inflammatory comment in front of others. Instead of reacting instantly, you hold eye contact, inhale slowly, and respond with something like, "Is there a factual point you're trying to make?" Or, "I'm not engaging with emotion. Let's stay on the issue." These sentences are lethal, not because they're aggressive, but because they deny the manipulator the reaction they need to continue. They cut their script in half. They dismantle the illusion that they control the flow of the conversation. And here's the fascinating part. When you refuse to react, they often become frustrated. They may raise their voice, they may exaggerate, they may stumble over their own words, they may even become emotional themselves. And suddenly, the room sees it. Their calm facade was never real. It was part of the performance. Now the performance collapses under the weight of your composure. Stoic composure is not passive. It is provocative in its own way. But it provokes clarity, not chaos. When someone tries to destroy you through emotional manipulation, your stillness becomes your counterattack. It exposes their intentions. It reveals their instability. It breaks their strategy from the inside out. Because here is the truth no manipulator wants you to know. A calm person is impossible to control. A calm person is impossible to frame. A calm person is impossible to destroy. The moment you learn to control your emotional state, their tactics dissolve. Your silence becomes a mirror they cannot escape. Your stillness becomes a boundary they cannot cross. Your lack of reaction becomes the moment their power evaporates. And the narrative they tried to control crumbles in their hands. They wanted you emotional so they could rewrite your story. Instead, you become the author of every chapter ahead. If you've recognized even one of these behaviors in someone around you, understand this. You're not imagining it. You're not too sensitive. You're not overreacting. You're waking up. Because people who want to destroy you rarely come with open hostility. They come quietly. They come subtly. They come through whispers, implications, distortions, provocations, and psychological traps. But the moment you see their patterns, their power begins to crumble. Stoicism teaches that you cannot control the intentions of others, but you can always control your interpretation, your boundaries, and your response. And that is where your real strength lives. You protect your reputation not by chasing rumors, but by living with consistency. You protect your dignity not by fighting humiliations, but by remaining grounded in your worth. You protect your mind not by arguing with manipulators, but by anchoring yourself in truth. You protect your relationships not by isolating yourself, but by reconnecting with the people who genuinely support you. And above all, you protect your life by refusing to let anyone steer your emotions. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If someone wants to destroy you, they aim to poison those thoughts. But you now know better. Awareness is your first shield. Boundaries are your second. Emotional discipline is your third. And your character, steady, quiet, unshakable, is the armor they can never break. Remember this. A person who tries to destroy you is showing you their weakness, not your own. Their behavior reflects their emptiness, not your value. Their smallness does not define your size. You are not here to be controlled. You are not here to be diminished. You are not here to be rewritten by someone else's insecurity. You are here to rise. With clarity, with discipline, with stillness, and with the quiet power of someone who refuses to be broken. If this video opened your eyes, comment, "I see the signs," and keep walking your path with the strength of a mind no one can manipulate.